Hey everybody, we're colonizing other planets. It's M.U.L.E for the Commodore 64. Well, let's open the YARG file on this game and see what it's about. M.U.L.E for the Commodore 64 was developed by Ozark and published by Electronic Arts in 1983. It was developed by Dan Bunton, who later transitioned to Danielle Bunton much later, but that's beside the point, I suppose. She went on to develop such classics as Seven Cities of Gold and Heart of Africa for the Commodore 64, as well as Command HQ for DOS. The importance of these games really can't be overstated, as they were the first ones to offer world exploration and real-time resource management in the case of Command HQ. Well, this is enough backstory, I think, so let's get on with the review. Before I start, for those interested, I have a full gameplay video on my other channel, or click the link in the box. So when you start a game of M.U.L.E, you select what color your game piece is going to be and what species you are. There's several different ones, each one has its ups and downs. The computer always picks the robot one. I picked the human one just because why not? At that point, you and your fellow players are dumped off at the planet Arata. So at the beginning of each month, you're shown this little animated stat screen. As you see, I'm the green humanoid in last place at the moment. My goal is to not stay in last place. So the transport ship leaves and you have your first land grant. Basically, this is free land that you get every month, one plot per player, and it's just who can click fastest on the best pieces of land. Each different type of terrain has its own uses as far as why you'd want to pick it up. For instance, as you see, I picked up the little mountain range here because that's where the smith ore is. The empty plot to the left of my selection is great for energy production, and the plot to the right of me that has the river flowing through it is great for food. So once everyone gets their monthly land grant, then we can move on to actually getting a M.U.L.E and outfitting it for whatever job you need it to do. Since I'm currently in last place, I have to wait till the computer takes his turn, or all three of his turns. Occasionally at the start of a turn, something will happen randomly and could be good or bad. In this case, one of the computer players managed to get $50 for selling some sort of hide or something. Okay, now it's my turn. I suppose I should start by explaining exactly what a M.U.L.E is. A M.U.L.E is an acronym which stands for Multiple Use Labor Element. M.U.L.Es are essentially robot harvesters that you have to outfit for any specific resource that you want to gather on the planet. The game drops you off in the middle of the city. Basically, here you can buy M.U.L.Es, have them outfitted for whatever resource you want to collect, and finally go to the pub and try to earn some money gambling. On the far right, you'll notice a slowly shrinking green bar. This is how much time you have left during the particular round you're in. Well, now that you've heard the basics of gameplay, let me go ahead, buy a M.U.L.E, outfit it for smith ore mining, and go to the pub really quick. Now that I've installed the M.U.L.E, let me go ahead, pause the game, and show you exactly what's going on the screen. Underneath the mining icon on my plot, you'll notice 4 dots. That's essentially the production potential for that particular plot and that particular resource. You'll notice that the blue player set up his smith ore mining operation on a plane, and so he only has 1 unit of production potential for that spot. Well, now that my mule's set up, let me go to the pub and earn some money gambling. Sometimes just before or just after everyone finishes their turn, something will change the output of one of the resources that are being gathered. In this case, there's a acid rainstorm that changes some stuff. But after this happens, you'll start to see people's production. So once the monthly production is done, it'll show up on the left side of your little box there. Notice how the blue player only produced 1 unit of ore as opposed to 4 for everyone else. After the production sequence, we go on to the auction sequence. Basically, everything that's produced by the colony is up for sale. That includes smith ore, energy, and food. The auction interface is pretty simple. It'll basically show you what items you have and whether or not you want to be a buyer or seller of that particular item. Like every other aspect of the game, there's a time limit, as indicated by the bar on the right. Notice that in this round, only the colony store is interested in buying smith ore, with the buying price listed underneath. Once the actual auction starts, you move your joystick down to match the seller price, which in this case is 50, for the store, which will buy all the smith ore. Once everyone's done trading, you gotta kind of wait for the timer bar at the far right to tick down to 0. After the smith ore auction, there are auctions for both food and energy. You'll notice that everyone here is kind of at their base minimal level of food. They neither need food nor have an excess of food. Food and energy are both needed. You have to have the right amounts every month, otherwise you won't be able to produce things with your mule. Basically, my strategy is going to be to sort of corner the market on food, and so that way I hopefully can get a little bit of a bump. Notice my guys going ahead and buying food from the store to kind of reduce the stock of the store. I think you get the general idea of these auctions. Let me sort of fast forward through the rest of this and get into the second month. So yeah, basically that's all there is to M.U.L.E. You just keep repeating this for 6 months for a regular game, and I believe the tournament game is 12 months, and that adds a few other things like Christites and lets you buy and sell land and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all the basics here. At the end of the gameplay period, the colony transport ship comes back, and a winner is determined based on the results of the final auctions. So yeah, it seems that after 6 months of gameplay, I've moved up to 3rd place. Woohoo. But yeah, overall it's a fun game to play. I think I'll go ahead and give it a score of A-. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my video. If there's a specific game you'd like me to review, drop me a note in the comment box below. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. If you want to see more of my stuff, why not subscribe? Also, if you really want to, you can support me on Patreon. Thanks for watching.